So I want to share the story with you because I hope that someone out there will benefit from my $400 lesson and avoid this mistake. As many of you know, Nikon has been super serious about recording video with their cameras ever since, especially the release of the Z9 and the Z8, and of course Z6 Mark III and every other camera that came out after it. With fantastic autofocus, stabilization is pretty good, codecs, the ability to record up to 8K is awesome, 6K with the Z6 Mark III, and you know what? For the past couple of years, I've been more and more serious about using video with Nikon. Now, last year, I was working for a small tech company and they needed a lot of video content. And at that time, for run and gun, I felt my Nikon cameras were best suited for it. Specifically the Z8, because I could record up to 8K if I needed to, which I never did, but I just love the capabilities of it, and I just feel that Nikon is really great for run and gun videographers. So I rigged it out to something like this here. Now I did have a mic attached to it during my time with that company just so I could get some run and gun audio right from here, and it did great. It did great. The footage was great. Everything was great. But one day I woke up, got to work, and I noticed that something wasn't right. Now, what was it? My monitor wasn't displaying the video feed from the Z8. And I was like, oh my God, maybe it's a cord thing. I tried different cords. Maybe it's a monitor thing. Well, I own 4 monitors, so I tried swapping out different cords, different monitors, and doing it all different ways. And still no feed, video feed was going through the HDMI to that monitor. And I was like, man, what's going on here? This is crazy. I said, this is like a $4,000 camera. It was just working. I don't know what I did. I didn't do anything different. And I used a V-mount battery. I mean, it was a great little run and gun kit. And I got scared, quite honestly. I got really scared. Now, come to find out, because I did some heavy research, that I made a huge mistake. Okay, I made a huge mistake. And it was, I used a cheap V-mount battery plate on the back. Now, let me show you what I mean. If you could tell right here, this is just a straight up plate right here. If I take this off, this is a small rig V-mount plate. Let me see, it's trying to get my face. Okay, there we go. It's a small rig V-mount plate right there. All right, it doesn't have any connections. It's just a metal plate, clips right there, and you're off to the races. So if you do use a plate like this, you have to rely on all the plugs that a battery like this has. Like you all know about this V-mount Neewer battery that I use, and has 2 plugs up top, and it has USB-C right here. You can see the USB-C right there, and a D-tap on this side. Okay, but if you don't have that, right, then to connect all your stuff to power your entire rig from the V-mount, you would need a plate that has connections here. Usually like 2 to 4 plug connections, at 8 volt, 12 volt, some other stuff, USB-C-A, as well as a D-tap to go to, that'll go from the battery to the plate and then to the camera to power the rig, okay, with D-tap. Now, come to find out, I went to like Reddit and everything else, and come to find out, this has been a very rare issue, but it has occurred. Now, when I was using a plate, I threw out the plate, but I'm going to leave the photo, it should come up right now, of the plate that I bought. It was a third-party V-mount plate that I would never ever recommend anybody touching, okay? If you're going to get a V-mount battery plate, get it from a reputable company like a Small Rig or Blue Condor or somebody like that, okay? Because they're invested in making high quality video gear that works. They don't want their name to be tarnished by faulty gear. So with that said, I went cheap about, I don't know, what was it, 2022, when I was starting to build out like what a camera rig was. I was like, oh, it needs a battery plate, so I bought a cheap one. Now, in so doing, it did work for some time. But what happened was, this is what I found out on Reddit, or at least it happened with some other people, is that when I have that plate connected and the battery is going into the plate, okay, and then the plate is what's charging or running all the power to all the gear you have on your rig, okay? Now, for some reason, they said it occurs from time to time that the power may go through the, what did it say? Through the monitor? I think it's through the monitor to, it'll go through the HDMI cord. Okay? It'll go through the HDMI cord, to put it simply. A very rare occasion. And when it did, it burnt out my HDMI port and it burnt out my monitor. Because I had an Andy Cine monitor that I had for years. I loved that monitor. It was so light. It didn't draw tons of energy. It wasn't the highest quality, but it was super reliable and I loved it. And right before it occurred, when I started, like, what are you saying, dissecting what happened and how can you say? I re-examined the steps of what I did, is that the screen started to like show all these weird rainbowy lines and then just went black. That's when I first noticed something happened. And what someone said on Reddit, rare case that happens is that the energy would travel through the HDMI, the power, and go into the camera itself, to the monitor, and it would actually fry it. And it did. It would turn on and off, right? But it would not display video feed anymore. So I was like, all right. When I first saw that, I thought it was just a monitor thing, like I mentioned earlier. So I went and swapped out monitors. It never happened. But yet those other monitors that didn't fry up worked on my other camera, worked on the Z6 III, it worked on my Lumix cameras, etc. But it wouldn't work on this one. So I was like, damn, this monitor's gone and that HDMI port is gone. So I was like, okay. Let me, and I wasn't thinking it was the plate. So I went and started using my Lumix S1H. I was like, all right, forget it. I'll just go back to the Lumix, use Lumix a lot. Now I'll use my S1H at work. Lo and behold, same thing happened. This time when I saw the screen doing it, I quickly turned it off, but it was too freaking late. Same thing happened, okay? Check this out. Right here. This, let me show you, right there. Same thing happened to this HDMI port. Same exact, like literally the same exact issue happened. So now my S1H cannot display any video feed coming from this cable, from this port. All right, no matter what monitor I put on it, no matter what cable I use, all right, it just does not. So, recently, matter of fact, there was, I forgot what date it was, but it was a Tuesday that earlier October, that I was like, all right, forget it. You know what? It's been months. I need to be able to have at least 2 video cameras for whatever gig may be coming up. So I sent in the Z8. I was like, screw it. If it's at least $600, I'll just freaking pay for it because it's a Z8, right? I want to be able to display video over my HDMI. So just like this does, okay? So I went ahead and just said, screw it. I sent it in. Okay, so I sent it in on Tuesday. They got it Friday morning. They gave me a quote on Friday. They had it done that Saturday and shipped it back out. I had my camera back by I just got it back yesterday, okay? So literally in 10 days, they got it, gave me the quote, I paid it, and then they sent it back, and I got it back in my hands. Like, I couldn't believe how fast NPS worked. It was unbelievable. I'm absolutely impressed with how fast they turned over my Z8 and delivered a quote too. Incredible. So if you're a Nikon shooter, an NPS is definitely worth getting. I couldn't believe it. It utterly shocked me. I was so impressed because I want to have my Z8 back. And not only do I want my Z8 back, I want it to work perfectly. I want all the features that I paid for and expect to be able to use. Now, as soon as I got it back, I was like, you know, I'm going to rig this thing up. But also, I want to share that story with you. They found it. They said, this is what you need. Do you want to pay it? I paid it. Boom. And they sent it back right away. 2-day shipping. I'm sure that's the same thing, the same issue with my S1H. I'm contemplating, should I pay to see what it may be? But this is such a good camera. Like, aside from the autofocus, this is a phenomenal camera. It still has the phase detect autofocus, but the color that could come out of this, the bit rate and bit depth you could get from this camera is phenomenal. So for filmmaking, it's just fine if you're just pulling and pushing focus. So I'm considering sending this one in 2. I don't know. You let me know down below. But knowing that and how the price, I was really shocked that it was $400. I was really happy with that. It may sound a lot to people, but you know what? The camera is still worth over $3 grand, and I don't feel like paying for that. So $400, you know, and I still keep the camera. So it's not I don't think it was a bad deal. It definitely was scary on how I did this to myself. Do not use third-party V-mount plates. I do recommend V-mount plates though. This one here is a great way to still be able to have your V-mount attached to your rig without any electrical anything. It's just a metal plate right here. Okay, it's just a metal plate. Boom, bada, bing. And there you go. You can have your rig and your entire rig powered by your V-mount without any electrical anything. But that means you got to have a V-mount battery that has all these attachments. Okay. But now I'm ready to go. I could turn here. Let's see. Let's turn this sucker on. All right. Now I can plug this bad boy up. Boom, bada, bing. And now I'm off to the races. I can do it. Oh my God. I'm not gonna lie. I was I haven't shot video with the Z8 in a long time. And when I was just playing around my room, I was like, you know what? This camera's pretty kick-ass. So, and it does up to 8K. So it's definitely no slouch. But look, no problem. I'm back in the game. I'm back in the game, being able to shoot and see what be able to use my field monitor. Okay. So, boom, I love it. So, shout out to Nikon NPS. That was awesome. They kicked. I wish I could curse. They did what they said they were gonna do. Okay, they deserve all the credit in the world. $400, have it. Okay, as fast as they did it, and I'm real stickler with customer service. Anyway, I hope this long-winded video helps you to avoid doing what I did. Sometimes with products, you just have to pay up. You get what you pay for. You want reliability, you want consistency, you want the ease of use. Sometimes you got to pay a couple more bucks. That's the lesson I learned, because that mount may have cost $100 and $150, I believe, somewhere between there. And now it cost me another $400 to fix this issue, and it may even cost another $400 to fix my Lumix S1H. Okay, so that's it right there. If you found any of this useful, smash that like, subscribe, you already know. And until next time, keep shooting and stay creative.